What's Oh my God. What's up, everybody? It's Mark. Bonfire's lit. Welcome to Bonfire Talks with me. If you're new, we're so glad to have you. Where have you been? We've been worried sick. Thanks for showing up. And hey, all the support's been great. Pretty excited about today. We're going to deep dive into Temptation Island. You know, the show, let me just give you some background before we get to my guest. I have a guest. I'm very excited about it. You will be too. So Temptation Island dropped originally in 2001. I was 4 years old, the youngest host ever on TV. And I hosted it, and it was like a reality show before there were primetime reality shows. Like they really, Survivor came out, big hit, Big Brother came out, not a big hit. Then we came out, and big hit for Fox. And we did 2 seasons, then it went away forever, 18 years. And then it came back as a reboot, and I read about it, and I'm like, yeah, wow, they're bringing Temptation Island back. That's cool. I don't expect a phone call, but that's cool. And then I get a phone call, and they hire me back, which kind of blew my mind. And in some other episode, I think I've told this story before, but in some other episode, I'll tell you how that meeting went, because I always describe it as Morgan Freeman in Shawshank when he comes up for review for parole and he finally has just given up. He's like, yeah, you know, I punched your paper, Sonny. I don't give a... That's how I approach the meeting. Like, yeah, whatever. You know, hire who you want, some 28-year-old tool, but go ahead. Anyway, they hired me, and we now go to do the show on USA Network. Season 1, Temptation Island, pretty much the same as it was going to be from way back in the day. But as you, I'm sure, know, because the audience is savvy, these shows are not good without a great cast. And the Season 1 cast on USA Network turned out to be iconic. Iconic. Part of it, I think, was Temptation Island was like, oh, shit, this concept is crazy. But it's really, one of the things I love about the show is that we have 4 couples. So one couple is not so watchable, 3 others are watchable. But this season, just firecrackers out of the box. And I have one of the OGs from season 1 on USA Network of the 4 women who were on the show that became the Fab 4. And I mean, just superstars. Had the show been on Netflix instead of USA, no shade on USA except a little bit, it would have been ridiculous. So I'm talking to you like I have already introduced you.
I know. I was like, should I say anything?
Yeah, I'm not good at this. I have one of the original from season 1 of Temptation Island, somebody that I have kept up with we kind of kept up DMing and kept up for a long, long time. Kaci Campbell is here.
Yay,
Kaci
I'm
Campbell, season 1.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to have you.
Thanks.
You were on the show. It was very dramatic. Mm-hmm. And since that time, which is now 2018, I think.
It's been a long, I think it's like 7 years.
Yeah.
It's something crazy. Because we filmed fall 2018 and then it aired January 2019.
Okay, I'm so glad that you remember these things.
Oh, I remember dates.
Yeah, amazing. And your storyline was off just the page. Everybody was crazy. But from that point, I followed you on social media and have been really impressed with how you've reconciled the things that were your demons, how you've been transparent about the demons we all face and that you personally face, and your road to recovery, growth, on again, off again with social media. I just think you're really powerful.
Thank you.
And a lot of your power comes in how willing you are to talk about things that aren't particularly right all the time.
Yeah.
But let's go back to the beginning when I first met you.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know that I was your favorite person.
I don't think I was your favorite person.
Well, you know, that's really interesting. Let's just say what was is that you were dating a guy. You've been with this guy for years.
Yeah.
And you basically said, look, you know, shit or get off the pot.
Yep.
Let's get married or not get married. really gorgeous guy, Evan, and a really charming guy.
Very charming.
Very charming.
Everyone loves Evan when they first meet him.
And I really don't want to spend this whole episode throwing shade all over Evan.
No, yeah.
Everybody's got their life.
Yeah.
In the moment, and this is, by the way, to let you know that I don't always get it right. But my take on you guys then was, it seemed like you were the one trying to get him to do something that wasn't natural, that we weren't, like, if it's there, it's there. I remember saying something like, when you say, if you ask me to marry me or I'm out, then if you get the proposal, it's an empty proposal.
100%.
Right. So I wasn't fully Team Evan.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure your motivation when you were saying, I love you, I don't want you to leave and stuff like that. I wasn't sure.
Like where it was coming from and like what, like why. And I came off, like if you didn't know what was going on between us and the backstory, it definitely, I could see why I looked controlling and like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I can see that. Like I'm self-aware enough to take a step back and be like, okay, if I watched this and I had no idea about these type of dynamics and relationships and the whole backstory, I could see how you might be Team Evan.
Yeah, it just you seemed a little bit trying to hold on to something that isn't there, a little manipulative. But you just brought up something really important, that in the bigger lens of a relationship over many years, we start to mirror behavior.
Oh, yeah.
So you were in this really toxic relationship. And when you hear it on Temptation Island and, Evan's making a case that seems really logical and kind of like, and then you're desperately trying to hold on to something.
Yeah.
I get that what I got is not necessarily insincere from you, or desperate to keep something that wasn't, could have been a mirror of behavior that we now know was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a great way to say it. It's so funny that you even talked about the mirroring, because right now I'm learning about my relationship style, and I'm actually avoidant. I have an avoidant attachment style, and I forgot about that before Evan, because that's how I was before Evan. And then being with Evan for so long, I slowly over time turned into an anxious attachment style, and now being out of that,
You say anxious attachment?
When I was with Evan.
Yes.
I was very anxious attachment. And I was with him for so long that I forgot how I was before him. And now I'm back to avoidant. So that's what I'm working on now, is like how to not be avoidant and actually like let intimacy in and stuff, because I was definitely mirroring him. We were toxic together.
Well, and what I love about that story is so many people are in toxic together relationships, and what is tricky about that is that the toxicity, while it leaves you empty, upset, sad, lonely, and anxious, is also what is attractive, that we're both in this crime together.
Yeah, like partner in crime.
You can't get out.
That's definitely how we were. And that's definitely, like I was covering for him the whole show. It's like the entire show, like I would hear things like lies that he's like telling production and crew. Like I would hear it from single guys and stuff, like what that he's telling people. And I'm like, but that's not true. But like, he doesn't have a job. But like everyone in that house thinks he's Bitcoin baby and a millionaire. And I'm like, but I'm the one paying the bills. So I'm just so like, so I was hearing all these things and I'm like, okay, like this isn't making sense. But I was covering for him the whole time by keeping quiet. So then at the very end of the bonfire, when I'm finally being honest, everyone's like, wait, where is this coming from? Right. Because the entire time I was covering his ass because I didn't want to embarrass him in front of the world. Which
later comes to light.
True.
He got engaged with those of you who haven't seen it, by the way, I think it's on Peacock, and it's worth the watch. I don't get anything if you watch it, but you can watch it. He gets it. He falls in love with one of the singles. I get a text saying, hey, we're engaged. They got engaged. Yeah, oh, yeah. He's always been very sweet and wonderful and has my back. And I have a warm spot for everybody on the show, but I have a warm spot for Evan too. I know that his story is not one any one of us would want to live. Yeah. You know, the loss of his father and God knows what other demons he fights. Yeah. And like anything, rather than judging, I wish healing and learning and growth and
Yeah.
And whatever path you take is the path you take. I'm just glad that I get to talk to you and that you're healthy and you're strong and wise and funny and all those things. Anyway, that comes to light. So now let's jump forward because I think it applies to what the cast today on this season are going through right now because it just dropped in March. How did you deal with the fallout? Like, show airs and then social media goes crazy.
Yeah. So at first it was kind of, I feel like people were really torn. So I got a lot of hate after the bonfire, which I think a lot of people are really surprised by now looking back.
Right.
Because now it's like people watch the show and they see everything that's happened since and they're like, how could anyone watch the show and like think you're the villain? But no, I did. I got a lot of heat. So I was actually with my best friend when the finale aired and she took my phone from me and all the comments started coming through in DMs and yeah, man, people didn't like me. So I'm so lucky and I'm so blessed. I have an incredible support system. I have an incredible family, incredible friends. So everyone kind of came together and just took over. So took my phone away from me so I couldn't even see it. My friend drove me out to Calabasas to my parents' house. I was like off the grid with my family.
The smartest play ever.
Yep.
And I've said that to cast members on this season, specifically Shantae and Breon. I know you haven't seen everything, but you've kind of...
I have a little idea of things, and dynamics.
And I want your hot take on that, but I said, look, you're not going to like what you read, so don't fucking read it.
Yeah, you got to stay off. So that's what happened is I just went home. Everyone kind of took over, and then my dad was like, Casey, he's like, we're going to be honest. He's like, we're going to do a live together, and we're going to tell everyone the truth. And we did that live together, and that live got like 38,000 viewers. And
your dad just comes in like
champ. My dad was like, absolutely not. He's like, he's like, you're fighting because I didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to do this. I just want to disappear off the face of the earth. Like, I never want to be on social media. I never want to tell the truth. And my dad was like, excuse my language. He's like, fuck that. He's like, we're fighters. He's like, you're getting on there and you're telling your story. And then ever since that, it's like the tide has changed. And then a year later, the truth came out about Evan and things have been good ever since.
Yeah. Without getting into too much of the tea, the truth came out that the engagement with Morgan, the single that he met, did not go well. Mm-hmm. My understanding is he kind of left in the middle of the night.
He's just a liar. He just lies. And honestly, like what you said earlier, I have empathy for him as well because of what you said. He's been through unimaginable tragedies that truly very few people on this planet can probably understand. So
it's extreme, like Dateline extreme.
Like he's like some extreme stuff. So I feel for him, but yeah, he has a lying problem and it gets him in a lot of trouble.
I assume you haven't had contact with him in a long time.
He tried to do a little smear campaign on me again like 2 years ago when I first moved to Florida, and then I had to put him in this place again, and then ever since then it's been like radio silence.
So let's just say that he was a liar or was all these things. This is your take.
Yeah, my opinion.
And let's say today that he's, I don't know, but a different person. And and if you're watching, Evan, know that I got ears for you and I got love for you because lest we judge, we all got to find whatever we got to do, and I hope you're happy.
Yeah.
That said, you then became a little iconic with the show.
Yeah.
Fan base that didn't love you at first turned to love you.
Yeah.
You came on the live with your dad and kind of said, here's what's up. Mm-hmm. And then you kept sharing from that point forward, started a podcast.
Yeah.
It's Tempting
Yeah.
Pod.
Yep.
Killed it.
Yep.
Now, was that with Nicole? Did you start that with?
No, I started
you started with
Aaron.
Pardon me?
Aaron from season 3.
Aaron, I would call her Aaron Smooth because that's
E-Smooth.
Smooth. Aaron, who was on the season after you, the next season? Or
she was
seasons?
on season 3.
Right. And as one of my favorite things to do, Aaron, whose relationship did not go well on Temptation Island, is now really, really happy. Is she married?
Yeah, I know for sure she's engaged.
They have a child,
and has a beautiful baby girl.
Yeah.
And actually, she reached out to me in December because we had a little bit of a falling out with the podcast.
I wanted to talk about that
we
because
can
you guys
talk
were doing
about
your
it.
thing, And then all of a sudden you weren't doing your thing.
Yeah, so me and her, we're totally good now. She's reached out, like we're good. Like everything's fine. But basically, long story short, what happened is we started the podcast and we were both like single, you know, like doing TI recaps. Our lifestyle was very similar. And then as time went on, she met her significant other. Originally, she was going to come to LA and we were going to do the podcast, and then she didn't. So I was like, okay, that's fine. We're going to do long distance. Then she met her man, then she got pregnant, and life just happens, you know? That's really all it was.
Different tracks.
Yeah, it's me and her were just living very different lifestyles, and it just wasn't working anymore. And I don't think it was 100% my fault. I don't think it was 100% her fault. I think it was a combination of both. And yeah, it just didn't work out. So that's really the gist of it. Just two girls, completely different lifestyles. Yeah. We didn't agree on things.
I'm glad that you're good now.
We're totally fine. Like, she actually listened to an episode that I released in December talking about what happened between us. And she said it brought tears to her eyes. Like, she was emotional. And she was like, I'm just so sorry for everything that happened. And so yeah, we're totally good. We're great. She told me all about her daughter, and yeah.
This says to me, Kaci Campbell, that, and this is a lesson I think for women. There's a lesson in this, is that life keeps lifing all around you.
Amen.
You keep leaning into it with transparency, and at the end of the day, when the smoke clears and the blood stops bleeding, you're stronger for it.
Yeah, you got to be resilient. And I think the best way to just get through life and just bumps in the road, honestly, is just being honest and being transparent and just being true to yourself. Like, I just think too many people are just pretending that they're something that they're not, or they're living a life that they aren't, or that they're really okay. And I don't know. I just think being transparent is extremely important to me, especially when you have like when you're a public figure and have a following and they're relying on you. I don't know. I think it's important.
It's one thing to be transparent when you're okay.
Yeah. It's about when you're not.
It's really powerful to be transparent when you're not okay.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the ups and downs for you since we met you and you became a star?
Yeah. It's been honestly a roller coaster. I think I've always been very transparent about my mental health, because even before Evan, like, I've always struggled with anxiety. That was a theme on the show. Is my anxiety was like out of control on the show. So I've always struggled with my mental health since I was like 16. But yeah, being in such a toxic relationship for so long, it can have like a real impact on you, and like trusting people and relationships and love. And like, I struggle with major depressive disorder. So I don't know if anyone knows how it's not just depression. It's like extreme depression. Like, I can't get out of my bed for like days. And like, people get on me about the podcast. It's like, you're not consistent. It's like, okay, like, I get that, but like, I'm unwell. You know what I mean? Like,
this is a really important distinction. Because we throw around phrases like anxiety and I'm depressed.
Yeah.
And I'm not discounting you're feeling depressed, or I'm feeling anxious, But there's a difference between feeling depressed and clinical depression.
Oh, huge difference.
Or clinical anxiety, which I've had some experience with.
Yeah.
Where when you say you can't get out of bed, you can't get out of bed.
And it's embarrassing. Like, I'll own it. Like, it's embarrassing, some of the symptoms of like clinical depression. But so many people aren't honest about it that I'm just like, I don't know. I've been through hell and back in front of the world. It's like, I don't give a fuck what people think about me. It's like, if I get out here and I'm like honest, it's like, yeah, like, I couldn't brush my teeth today. You know, it's like,
I so relate to you.
You know what I mean? It's like,
yes, I do know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like I have almost a duty to be honest so people can hear it and see what I look like on social media. It's like, oh, okay, if Kaci can't get out of bed and brush her teeth, like, I'm dealing with the same shit, you know? It makes people feel normal.
Embodiment of highly functioning. I'm like, this secret.
Yes. And I feel like I live a double life.
So here's the power in that. Years and years and years ago, I had a bout with anxiety. I've talked about it before. I had a...
when was this?
This was 1995. So here's where it came from. My career was going like a leap. I was a guy just kind of working, and then all of a sudden I had a syndicated talk show produced by Brandon Tartikoff that none of you will know. He's since passed away, but he was the biggest icon in television.
Yeah, big deal.
Ran NBC, ran everything. Anyway, I had a 3-year-old, I had a pregnant wife. They moved me to New York to do the show. I had a health scare where I went in for my physical for insurance, and they found a tumor, and I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, it was benign and was a cyst. It was nothing. But that's when my synapses snapped.
Yeah.
Like it's something broke.
Yeah.
So, a week later, my baby's born. A day after the baby was born.
Oh my gosh, so much at the same time.
When my daughter was born at 3 a.m, I was looking out the window of the delivery room, watching it as the sun came up, watching a crew paint a 4-story like cartoon of me for my talk show that I was about to do the next day.
Oh my gosh.
So the pressure of everybody depending on me, it doesn't matter. I don't need to talk about me so much, but something snapped and I went into clinical anxiety for months, not knowing what it was.
Yeah, that's so scary.
The reason I tell this story is to talk about transparency, and when you talk about it when you're not okay, what you have done, is that when I finally opened my mouth to share it to anyone, the response I got from everyone was, me too.
Positive. That's the thing is I don't think people realize how many people are suffering and struggling because we're all pretending that we're fine. And that's been my experience is any time that I've been so transparent and so honest about things I'm genuinely embarrassed about. Without fail, there's never been a negative response. It's always been like, thank you so much for talking about this. I relate so much. Oh my gosh, like I didn't realize I'm not alone. Like it changes people's lives, like truly.
Yes, as opposed to the shame of something's broken in me.
Yeah.
What your experience is just...
It's normal. And a lot of people are struggling.
That word is just so fucked up.
Yeah.
Because life, I always say it, life's all over us.
Yeah.
And, sometimes we're great, sometimes we're not.
Yeah.
What did you do? First of all, let's back up a little bit. Because at 16, you were feeling
that's when my
anxiety
mental
and
health really, it was like a light switch almost.
What do you think? Have you done any work to find out where that started?
It's funny that we're talking about this. So I'm actually, I just started with a new therapist literally on Monday, like a few days ago from us recording this. So I'm seeing her every Monday. And we're actually trying to figure this all out. And I'm actually starting something called EMDR therapy. So it's
familiar.
Yeah. So it's basically a type of psychotherapy technique meant for people with PTSD and trauma. And we started talking about why at 16, something changed in me. And I think what it was is it's so weird because it's my parents are incredible. Okay. I want to start right there. My parents
your dad seems to be a rock.
Yeah. My parents, my support system is amazing. However, when I was growing up, my family, my dad was working full time. He was going back to college, then going to law school, raising 3 kids. My parents were very, very stressed. And there was a lot of financial stress and there was a lot going on. And my parents were very young. They were 21, 23 when they got married, had 3 kids at 26, little babies. So raising kids like that, it's not
so you were possibly taking on the stress you were feeling.
Yes, I had
empathically.
Yes, I had very real fear of real adult life things at a very young age. And then on top of it...
I could cry because there's so much about your story that is different but the same, which I hope is landing for you too because we're not so different.
Yeah. And then the other thing I think, which it's so funny because my parents thought we're giving her everything. This is amazing. I was in so many extracurriculars and ballet and school. My schedule from 3, well, let's not say 3. Let's say elementary school all the way up until high school was I go to school, wake up 6 a.m., go to school 8 to 3, get in the car, change into my ballet, eat food, get to ballet at 3:30. I'm at ballet from 3:30 till 9 o'clock at night. That was
which is also a toxic environment.
Yeah, I was working as a kid, and it's not that my parents, they didn't think they were doing anything wrong. They were she loves ballet, she wants to be in soccer, she wants to do this, that. But I was I never had any free time. So
I'm guilty of that as a dad. And you know that my daughter was a professional ballerina.
No,
same track, same shit. Just stressed out of her mind.
It's a lot.
And now she started, which I'm going to ask you to follow because
I will.
You will love it. Lazy Ballerina Club.
I think I actually might already follow her that.
And so she has a brand which basically says, before you can be a dancer, before you can be whatever, you need to be a human first.
See, and it's a real thing.
Where I have some feelings of guilt and wish I could do over again from a parenting standpoint, if that got her, if where she is now is where she is, then I'm the happiest guy in the world. And
Amen.
Recently on the show, I had the woman I know from Temptation Island, maybe not the first season, but she was a PA who's working social media with me, and she said the phrase that just rocked me. She says, you got to remember with your parents, it's their first time doing this.
That's why you got to give them grace. Because like even last week, because me and my family will have like, right now we're really trying to get me through this like therapy situation because I want to conquer this like depression issue, honestly.
Is
like,
it still coming and going
yeah,
with you?
like I had like the last like month has been hard. It's actually a big reason why I moved back from Florida because I'm just like, I have to figure this out. And it's a big reason why I've taken a step back from my podcast because it's like right now I got to get myself right. And depression is just taking over my life. It's like, it's just too much. So my family will have like team meetings and my whole family's like on board with it. My brother Brooke, every Friday he sends me like inspirational texts and stuff. My dad checks in with me every morning. So we had a little meeting last week and one thing that we brought up, he's like, what's going on with like love and relationships? He's like, do you want that? And I'm like, I don't know because like I almost feel like I truly feel like I would be totally fine single. And I don't crave that at all, but I'm also wondering, it's like, do I just have so much trauma that I'm convincing myself? Like, I don't know. And then my dad is like, why do you not want love? And I was honest. I was like, honestly, because you and mom were so stressed growing up. It's like, I didn't want that. I wanted you guys to get divorced. And when I told him that, he just started sobbing, crying. He's like, I can't believe like I messed up like that. And I was like, you didn't mess up. I was like, you guys were like 21 and 23. Like I have no hard feelings. We're all just living life for the first time. Like you had no way of knowing.
That's right.
You know, like you have to give people grace. Like we're all just here our first time doing our best.
So, yes.
You know?
Yes. Stumbling through.
Yeah, getting
Bloody
by.
And bruised. Let's talk about relationship a little bit.
Let's do it.
Because you mentioned avoidant.
I'm extremely avoidant.
Yeah. The isolation, which goes right
like
into the palm
hyper independent.
Right in the palm of depression.
Yeah, no, like completely, like very, very, very avoidant.
And hyper independent is powerful, but it also means I don't need anybody's help.
Yeah, and it can be very toxic and it can be a trauma response when you're hyper independent. That's the thing is like I'm an extremely self-aware person. Like I know everything that's wrong with me and I know like what's toxic and like what's not. Like I know what I need to do. So I don't know, for anyone that's like really independent and you're isolating yourself and you don't ask for help, like that's toxic. Like I hate to like be the bearer of bad news, but it's not good.
Let's talk about relationship.
Okay.
Because trauma and past relationships, repeated behavior is like touching the stove.
Yep.
You're not stupid. You don't want to touch the stove again. So and I'm going to put myself in this too. We find ourselves in a self-preservation mode of if I don't have somebody there, I have protected myself from the trauma that comes with that. What it robs me of is the same support you're feeling from your parents from somebody intimately.
Yeah.
Finding that is the battle of life.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've been married 37 years, and I have had episodes, maybe not as far as you have, but I certainly have an understanding of what it's like to not be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that it's much easier to not be okay when somebody's standing next to you, taking the blanket off of you and putting your feet on the ground so you get off the couch.
Yeah.
Your parents and your family are doing that for you now. But the leap and growth for you to get to the point where you have enough self-strength to allow somebody else in, and that intimacy isn't toxic or trauma-inducing.
Yeah.
Is my hope for you.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to go through life with a partner.
Amen. Yeah. And the thing is like, I believe in love. Like, I believe in like true love. Like, I believe in marriage. Like, I would love to find that, but like, again, being self-aware, like I'm so emotionally unavailable that I go for emotionally unavailable men.
Okay.
Because like avoidant, you
I
know,
get it.
it's like I purposely go for people that I know it's like, it ain't going to get serious.
Okay. So
you know?
here's the hopeful part. I say this all the time.
And by the way, everyone, I'm trying to fix this, okay? Like, I recently went on Hinge and I'm like actually responding to people. I'm not ghosting, okay? Like,
I think you should actually be like transparent in the bio and say, look, if you're looking for a girl that has no interest in you.
Literally, I am transparent. I put my most irrational fear is dating.
Which I love. And this brings me to my point. I think a lot of the women that I speak to, which because of this show and God knows why, is an amazing amount of people that have reached out to me saying, you know, I'm having this trouble. What do you think?
Yeah.
But what I think is the things that we think are broken about us, that are unlovable about us, that are too much for someone else, my propensity towards anxiety and depression, the drama of my past, the trauma of my past showing up today, my avoidance, the fact that in our relationship there are going to be times where I'm unavailable to you, I'm not intimate at all.
Yeah.
Those things that we think are deal breakers and then we would hide that from a potential partner become the purpose of someone that can fall in love with us.
Yeah.
That when you find that partner, the other side of the shell, your mess is their joy.
Yeah.
Not joy.
But like someone
Purpose.
that wants to take care of me.
Yeah.
You know?
And
help
then in
me
turn
out. And I take care of as well.
Because when you're in it and somebody's there loving you through it, you feel better.
Yeah.
But they feel better.
Yeah.
Because they were of service.
Yeah.
And then you will naturally be that for them. So I think you're on the path, and I think it's amazing to hear you talk about stuff because the demons that you're slaying, better way to say it is we don't slay our demons, we make a peace with them.
Yeah.
I don't know that they ever go away.
Yeah, but you like make peace with them and live with them comfortably.
My wife says it really great. Robbie says it great. Says most of that is the voice in your monkey brain telling you all the lies.
Yeah,
that
so
we
true.
then say is true. And she says, when you hear it, you turn and you say, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
She calls it, and this is a phrase I think that's come out of some 12-step program stuff, but she calls that voice K-fuck radio, which I think is pretty great.
Yeah, she's great. Every story you tell me about her cracks me up.
By the way, it broadcasts 24/7. No commercials.
Love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know that you haven't seen the show, and I'm not offended. It's okay.
No, to be honest, I want to watch it. I think I want to get through a little bit more therapy.
Yeah, I get it.
And then I want to like watch it in a healthier mindset.
I feel like that's true for me and so many other people.
Yeah, but I've heard, honestly, and mind you, I have seen like a bunch of clips. I get when I say tons of DMs, like tons of DMs. And then I've seen clips and I've followed some people. So I have an idea. And I
probably better that way.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear what the general DM you get is.
Yeah.
Based on this season. Like what kind of stuff do you get?
The two biggest ones, because I just recently went super viral on TikTok because I was like sharing my story about TI and just tons of DMs. And the biggest one is about Grant, because everyone says like he's worse than Evan or vice versa. Like Evan, this is the thing, that Evan walked so Grant could run. This is the thing I hear. So I don't know exactly what he did, but I have an idea. And I think was Grant the villain of the show?
There were several.
Oh, okay. Well, the other, Shantae's significant other.
Rian.
I've heard he's not good, and I've heard I have to have a sit-down conversation with her.
Yeah, I think there would be some value in that. And I say that almost
Are they still
in jest.
together?
No. I don't know where they are today, but recently Shantae posted that they've decided mutually to go their separate ways. And I follow her.
I love hearing that.
and I follow her, and I'm seeing her post, fitness stuff and fashion stuff and skincare stuff and all this stuff. So it appears now social media is really misleading.
It's a highlight reel.
It's a highlight reel of what we want to show.
Yeah.
But she seems to be doing great.
That's good.
I sent a DM to her last week saying, hey, I'm just checking in on you.
Yeah.
Because I'm codependent with all the people on the show.
Yeah, you want to make sure we're all good.
Yeah, we're 8 years later. I'm still talking to you. And she didn't respond, which is fine. But I think she's doing great.
Good.
And I haven't heard from Brian, and I think him going into a radio silence is a good thing for him as well.
That's what I heard. I heard he like took a step away from like social media.
Had to. The threats and comments were beyond his behavior.
What the heck? Like bullying and like bad stuff?
Death threats.
Shut
Terrible.
up. Okay, that's one thing I will say. Even when I just did my series on TikTok, and I have to say this, I even made a comment. It's like I feel like I've gone above and beyond. Even when I share my story, like bullying people, like going after like Evan and Morgan, it's not okay. Like, I don't understand what kind of person you are to bully or send people death threats. It doesn't matter if he was a villain on the show and did horrible things, cheated. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did, but it doesn't matter what he did. That's not okay.
And
yeah,
I'd like to add on to that because I did a show years ago called Moment of Truth that was just horrible. It was a lie detector show where you sit.
Interesting.
Yeah, it goes viral all the time. Like it doesn't go away.
Dang, I'm gonna go check it out.
It'll show up because I've said it.
It will.
Someone's gonna sit there. They've taken a lie detector test, and if they are honest, they make money. If they aren't honest, they don't, and they're revealing stuff that they should never reveal on TV.
Oh God.
And the viewers are quick to judge. Mm-hmm. So as I say to Brian, and quite frankly, retroactively to Evan,
yeah,
if I put you on the show, whoever it is, you're going to be looked at through the same microscope.
Yeah.
And I think what is important when we talk about the villains, the Grants and the Brians and the Evans and the whoever that show up as the villain on a reality show for 10 episodes, it discounts the fact that, first of all, what they did on TV wasn't as egregious as it appears to you. And let's give some grace for that experience to help them grow.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, you can say your behavior was deplorable, but you're not deplorable.
Yeah, I just think there's just a line, and people really cross that line on social media.
All the time.
It's just a scary mindset, because I think people forget that we're all real humans, and like this is our real life, and it's just, yeah, you guys go on and you write that death threat and then you log off and you're back to your life. Well, that person, that's not the only comment they got like that. They got hundreds, thousands of them, and then they have to live with that. And
as for
it's
Grant
scary.
being, it's a funny line that,
No, I've literally
Emma walks
seen
at
that
Grant.
so much, and I'm like, what the heck? And then there's people fighting in the comments. They're like, Grant's nowhere near Evan. Like, and then people are like, Grant's way worse. And they're like, watch Evan. And people are arguing, and I'm like, I don't even know what's going on.
And by the way, they're forming opinions based on
Grant was with Ashley? Okay.
With 20 minutes per episode of whatever the story is.
Yeah.
I will say this. Grant and I are in touch.
Mm-hmm.
He is spending a lot of time with his daughter.
Well, that's good.
And that's positive. And I think, again, we all learn what we're going to learn no sooner than we learn it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people do you know have repeated behavior for years when you're going, this is just, you get the same result. It's not good.
Yeah.
Well, you can't knock somebody in the head.
Yeah.
When they want to drink the water, they drink the water. When they go to the well, they drink the well.
Yeah.
You, like me and my wife and others, have embraced those things that I think a lot of people are miserable or suffer from the stuff that we talk about, but don't think they're suffering and are willing to just have it.
Yeah.
And I'm always impressed by people who ask the question. Ask any question. And it's apparent to me, and one of the reasons I've had affection for you over all these years is things have plagued you, and you've asked the question, why and what can I do about it?
Yeah.
You're not complacent. You're proactive in your journey to mental health and wellness.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to acknowledge you for that.
I appreciate it, because it's like it's a battle, man. I just think I just don't want to give up on myself. I like know my potential, and my biggest fear is not reaching my potential. And the only way to reach it is you got to conquer stuff and you got to keep fixing yourself. Like I'm a constant project, and people keep, the biggest thing about me, I think, and I get a lot of comments about it, is just you're always glowing up. You're always glowing up. And it's like, there's a reason for that. And I never stop working on myself, like ever. Like I always identify, it's like, okay, we conquered that. It's like, now we got to conquer this. It's like, okay, right now I'm conquering depression. As soon as I conquer that, I'm going to conquer dating. I'm actually going to go on dates with guys I could see a future with. Like there's always a game plan. And if it's like, if anything in life skews me from that game plan, it's like I take a moment, I have my emotional day, you know, I let myself cry, I lay in bed, and then the next day it's like, okay, what are we doing to conquer this? It's like new game plan, new route. Like I never give up.
And by the way, never giving up is a really great attribute. But when we're battling things like you've shared, and all of us have them to some degree, it's the tools we develop that we can avail ourselves.
Got to get a toolbox.
Yeah, that's it. Kaylin, we've talked about
we've
that.
talked about the toolbox.
Yeah.
You got to have a toolbox, man.
Yeah,
You can't do it all alone.
Because you can't just say, tomorrow I'll get out of bed.
No, you got to have the tools.
Yeah. What's your go-to tool?
Honestly, everyone knows about my dog, Nova. I don't know if everyone knows this. She's actually a registered emotional support animal. And no, it's not just like you go online and like you get the like
Not just
fake
to get
ones.
the airplane seat.
No, like she's legit. Like through a psychiatrist. Like she helps me in so many ways, just keeping me on a routine, honestly, because instead of just like laying in bed in the morning, it's like I have to get up and go walk her. And then as soon as I go outside and just take a walk, like that sounds so dumb, but anyone that like really struggles with depression, just getting out of bed. And I know it's so hard, but like just doing that and just getting outside even for 5 minutes, it's already like that's going to start resetting you. So that's one of my tools is my dog. She really keeps me on a routine. She helps me get out of bed in the morning. I try to take a walk. I have an amazing support system, and I'm very honest with the people closest to me. Like Katie, Nicole, we're still best friends to this day. Like they know everything about my mental health. We've had like sit down conversations.
And they've both grown like
Katie's like a different human now compared to back then.
Yeah, she really is.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I just think you have to really have a support system, and then it sounds cliche, but just get outside. Just get out of bed, go on a walk, and then evaluate from there.
I 100% agree with you. Here's one of the tools I've developed that I've shared with other people, and I have a little, because this is the way you do it, I have a little acronym to remind myself. But the phrase for me is quit. So when I'm in it, quit. Q, get quiet and label how I'm feeling.
Yes. Amen.
Put a word to it.
Yeah.
U is unplug from that and set a timer on your phone for 10 minutes. Okay? I'm just going to unplug from the dialogue in my head of the thing that I now labeled rather than let it be ambiguous.
Yeah.
So rather than just feeling terrible and worrying about the world, I can say, I'm worried.
Yeah.
Or I'm scared.
Yeah.
And then unplug for 10 minutes. Then I is set an intention for something different and intend to be joyful.
Yeah.
And what that means is I have to then take an action to do anything that brings me a spark of peace and joy.
They call that a dopamine menu.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it better.
Yeah.
That's a much better phrase.
Yeah.
So for me, for a while, it was like I'd feel things coming on and I'd say, get up. Go outside, check your garden, because I grew vegetables.
I know. I remember your farm.
Or to chickens.
Yeah.
And it wasn't do gardening.
Yeah.
It was just get up and look at it.
Yeah.
And somehow I got joy looking at, there's a new flower. My chicken laid an egg. All of that. And then T of the quit thing was trust that you're not going to go back to where you were 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Because it's that easy to adjust, say thanks for sharing, back to Robbie's phrase, and then make some shift. And it literally means if I'm sitting here, go sit there.
Yeah.
And it really is much more powerful and simpler to access than what our head's telling us is I can't get out of this bed because the world's going to crumble.
I literally have tattooed on me baby steps because that's like my phrase, like baby steps. Like
Please tell me it's spelled correctly.
It is spelled correctly. It is.
No regrets.
No, it's good. But that's my biggest thing is I just remind myself of that all the time when I'm really struggling. It's like you start baby steps. Just take that first little step. It's like once you do that, it's like then you can take another one. Don't think of like the whole picture because I used to do that. I used to be like so down on myself. It's like I want to get up at 5 a.m. and like make my coffee and breakfast and go on a run and then go to the gym and answer all my emails and then go work all day and then go work on my podcast. And it's like I need to little baby steps right now.
You go from depression to manic.
That's what I do.
And it's not the same as taking one step for self-care.
Yeah.
And then realizing that step 2, 3, and 4 kind of go away.
Yeah. And that's what I'm really working on right now is just balance. It's like right now, I just got to get through this depression thing. And then as soon as I get that, my next goal, I'm actually going back to school. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know
So
that.
yeah, I got into Arizona State Business School and I'm majoring in sports business.
Great.
So yeah.
You're going to be an agent?
I want to work for the NFL and PR. So yeah,
They could sure use you.
I know. They
Every
need
day
me.
there's more drama.
I've been looking at all the draft craziness on my TikTok. There's like prank calls, and I'm like, what is going on? They need PR right now. And then like the Bill Belichick stuff and his girlfriend. Did you see all that?
I did.
That interview.
She's like, we're not talking about how we met.
I know. I'm
Which
like,
makes me go, oh, so
what
OnlyFans?
happened? Yeah.
Was it a prostitute?
Yeah.
But that wasn't it.
and I'm like, why are you making it look like it's so much? They don't have, like, where's your PR people?
But
You
my
know?
understanding is, but look, can we just sidebar to
Yes,
that one?
we can totally
Just Belichick it for a moment.
sidebar.
Kaylin, are you hip to this?
I'm aware. Oh,
Yeah, it's crazy,
So
right?
first of all, put on a fucking shirt,
yeah.
Bill Belichick.
I don't know what is going on. He's
For
like
an interview?
He's a legend. Like, I'm like, what are you wearing?
I get that his thing is the cutoff sweatshirt,
But still.
but not in an interview.
Yeah, and like looks so weird, looks so unprofessional. And then she's like in the background on camera. I'm like, this is weird.
And I love that she's supporting him in part of it. But here's the thing that I didn't understand is like she's like, we're not talking about how we met.
yeah,
Which makes me immediately think of the worst nefarious ways that they met.
Exactly.
My understanding, Kaylin, correct me if I'm wrong because you know everything.
yeah.
They met sitting on a plane next to
on a
one
plane. Yeah, no.
That's like a
in
meet cute.
In like 2021, like it's like a natural. That's how I want to meet my husband, like at a grocery store on a plane, like in a
And we're
natural,
chatting and it's a vibe.
in a natural
Yeah.
way. Like that's what I would love. It's like
Not
what,
on the apps, nothing
yeah,
like that.
like what is so weird about that? And then like the other thing that blew my mind too is like they put out this big statement that is supposedly he wrote it, but I don't believe that. I think she wrote it. And they're basically calling out like was it CBS that interviewed him?
I'm not sure.
So whoever interviewed him in that interview where she was like in the background, like being controlling and being like, don't answer that. Bill is like saying like, oh, like they put things out of perspective. It wasn't that bad. Well, they're fighting back and they're like, we actually edited it a lot and it was way worse than what we showed. So
We
if you
covered
want
your
us,
ass.
yeah. So it's like, if you want us to show the uncut version, like we will show the uncut version. So now they're in that battle. And I'm like, there's no PR in this at all. I was like, this is a nightmare.
Well, and you know what's interesting is you pursuing a PR job. I'm just off the top of my head. Your understanding of the power of transparency is going to be really helpful.
All my friends, when they heard about, because I actually only have 2 years left because I went to college a long time ago, finished all my general ed, and I dropped out because just college wasn't for me at the time. But I have a scholarship, so it's like I don't even have to pay for it or anything. So I'm like, why would I not go? But all my friends, when they hear my decision and my family, they're like, it makes so much sense for you. I was like a cheerleader my whole life. My family's a sports family. Yeah. And I know about like the public and being transparent, and it feels like a really good decision for me. I still want to do like social media and stuff like as like on the side and my podcast, but everyone that knows me really well, they're like, this makes sense for you. Like you would kill it in that industry.
If it's glowing, you go towards what's glowing. And,
Yeah.
And if you change your mind, you change your mind.
Yeah.
By the way, scholarship, having already gotten the college done and all that is not surprising to me because highly intelligent people are more prone to depression and anxiety and the things.
I've done the research.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
props.
It means I'm smart.
You may be way sick, but you're really smart. Yeah.
I tell
get a lot
myself
of
that all the time. I'm like, you know what? It's like, it could be worse.
Well, you know what that is to me, at least my experience of that is that with a really fast-working intellect, you then get things twisted that you have the answers.
Yeah.
And so what I always describe my brain as like a rainbow circle on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than going, I don't know, and asking for help, I'm grinding on a puzzle.
Yep.
Which creates anxiety and depression.
Yep.
I don't mean to double back on that. Hey,
No,
going
okay.
back to Katie and Nicole and that whole thing.
Yes.
So this is interesting. So Katie may have been the only, not only, but she was one of the few females on the show who actually became a villain a little bit.
She owns it. She was 100%
She
the villain
made the
in our
statement
house.
that was iconic that my boyfriend makes me not want to have children.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, we did have some iconic moments that
Iconic.
season, man.
So, footnote.
Even that shocked me when she said that.
So now she's doing her thing, looking great, a little fluid sexually.
She is. I think she's technically bisexual.
Yeah.
I don't think she's lesbian because she is still attracted to men. But no, she has been exclusively with women,
At least
for the
from
last few years. Like,
and she seems lighter.
yeah, she has this a girlfriend's now. I can talk about it. She's put her it's public.
I've seen it.
She's in a very serious relationship with a woman, and they've been together, I want to say like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. They're moving in together in Austin. Yeah, she's so happy. Like, she
Love that
really
for her, but
is. Yeah.
Then I was on the road doing, I do this stage version of Wheel of Fortune sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I
And,
see that.
And I get a DM from John,
Oh, Lord.
her
Yeah.
ex, who was not man enough to have children with her.
Oh,
right?
God.
And he wants to come to the show. I get him tickets. He brings like 8 people. I loved it.
Oh, that's cool.
And with him was his now wife,
He's married?
and they have a child.
Oh, see, that's how it should have worked out.
Yeah.
That makes me happy that he got married and has a baby.
And I think what that is an example of is that when you're young and in the years where you'd come on Temptation Island, you have it in your head one way,
Yeah.
and then life shifts,
Yeah.
and then you grow into what really is authentic for you,
Yeah.
and those things aren't particularly true anymore.
Yeah.
Like 2 things. One is I need a man who's more alpha than this that would raise my kids the way I want them to make, so you're not enough.
Yeah.
And now she's with a woman.
Yeah.
And he, who was emasculated there and is not enough of a man to have children, is now married and the alpha having
Yeah.
with a child. So I love that those things work out.
It is. It's very interesting. It's just, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason.
And I think you being here served me. So I want to thank you, especially if you're struggling right now. I don't get that you're struggling right now.
I'm doing way better. Like, honestly, I want to say the last 2 weeks, I've turned a corner, and this new therapist, my brother found her. She's made for me. She has experience. She worked at a trauma center. She worked with people in the public eye that have dealt with trauma. She does EMDR. She's she gives me grace. She's honestly an answer to my prayers. So I am doing much better.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm always here for you in any capacity
I know that.
can. I'm glad you have professional help, but I want to acknowledge that when you're in the struggle that you got up and you came and you showed up for me.
Oh yeah, always.
Thanks.
Yeah,
So I owe you a couple
always.
on that one. So if you need me on your podcast,
Honestly,
ever.
it's coming back. I'm not making any promises when it is coming back, and you're going to be one of the first people on it.
All right. Well, I just grubbed my way on.
No, we talked a while ago,
Yeah,
and
we did.
I was like,
We did.
now that I'm solo, I was like, I need you on it.
Kaci Campbell, season 1, OG. You are an open book and a beautiful cover on that book.
Why, thank you.
I try not to make physical. I realize I say that, but then I do it. So that's kind of bullshit. I was like I say, I try not to compliment women physically, but I find myself doing it all the
but
time.
you said I was smart first. So
Yeah, I'm a
that-
fucking boomer, so it's going to happen. You look great. You look healthy.
Thank you.
I'm glad to hear that you're on the journey of having a team and support to stay
Yeah.
healthy, and we will look for more great things.
Thank you.
And I just will close by saying your battles, your struggle, your path, and your journey have made you, each one has brought you to a glow up, as you've said. But we will never know the number of people who have come along with you because of what you've shared.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
why I do it.
that's great. Anything you want to say before we go?
No, I think I always love chatting with you. I love that we can talk about anything.
Yeah.
I love that we can be an open book.
For a fucking hour. Anyway, and I'm not done. So, all right. Love you. Glad you're doing well.
Love you.
All right. And I love you too. And I'm looking at the camera, but I'm going to look over here. I love you too, Kate.
I love you, Mark.
Thank you, buddy. We're working on our intimacy as well.
Nice.
All right. That's it for today. Thanks for hanging out around the bonfire with Kaci Campbell, OG. The reason Temptation Island has been successful for all these years is indirectly and directly related to that season of
Big statement.
Yeah, that's true. And I appreciate you guys being here. Like, subscribe, comment, and all that. Also, if you got stuff that you want my take on, you feel like you need a bonfire, you want to sit and talk with me, send us an email, send us a DM at bonfire. What is it?
Bonfire Talks Podcast at
BonfireTalks
gmail.com.
at gmail.com. And we'll try to get to it on the show. Until then, thanks for watching and still searching for a sign off. See ya.